Hey guys, I'm Taufik. Now this is going to be the second part in my SQL Joins tutorial series. Now last week I posted the first part of this series where I talked about inner join, left join and right join. Now in this video I'll be covering the remaining joins in SQL and they are going to be the full outer join, self join, cross join and natural join. Now, if you have not watched the first part of this video, then I highly recommend that you watch that video first before you come to this video, because in that video I have given you an introduction to joins. I have explained you what joins are and why we should be using them. Now, before I can start, if you are new to my channel and if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, and if you are interested in learning SQL, Python and database concepts in the field of data analytics and data science, then definitely consider subscribing. Also, if you find some value from this video, then please make sure to give me a thumbs up. Thank you and let's begin. Okay, so let's start by looking at the full outer join. Now, full outer join can also be termed as full join. So the keyword outer is just an optional keyword. Okay, now in order to understand full outer join, you first need to know what the output of an inner join would be, what a left join would return and what a right join would return, because the combination of all these three type of joins would result in a full outer join. Okay, so let's try to understand that further, but first let's see the difference in the results of when we use the inner join, left join and right join. Now to showcase that, I have these two tables. These are the same tables which I used in my last video. So I have the employee table. I have 5 different columns here. I have the employee ID, employee name, salary, department ID and manager ID. Now there are 6 different employee information in this table. You can also see that these employees belongs to the department D1, D2 and D10. That is what I have mentioned here. And then I have the department table which has just information about 4 different departments. I have the department ID and the department name column. Now the department IDs present in this table are D1, D2, D3 and D4, and that is what I have mentioned here. Okay. Now as I explained about the inner join concept in the last video, now if I'm just trying to join the employee table with the department table, I need to provide the join condition, and here I am providing based on the department ID. So what this would return is all the records that are present in both these tables. Okay, and that is what I have written here as well. It fetches only matching records in both the tables. Now you can see that the output that I have got is just 4 records. So basically I'm getting the data only for 4 different employees, and this is because these 4 employees, Manoj, Rahul, Michael and James, belongs to the department IT and HR. And if I look at the department table, you can see that IT and HR belongs to the department ID D1 and D2, and D1 and D2 are the only department IDs that are present in the department table as well as in the employee table. So inner join will only fetch those records where the data is matching across both these tables. Okay, so this is basically what an inner join does. Now let's see if I just modify the same query using a left join. So basically everything stays the same. My select clause, my from clause, my join condition, everything is the same. The only thing that I'm changing is from inner, I'm going to make it like a left join. Okay, so when I run this query, that is a left join query, you can now see that I'm getting 2 additional records. So basically you can see that the first 4 records here are basically the output that were returned from my inner join. So these are the 4 records that matched between the employee and the department table. So this is basically the output that was returned from my inner join. And then I have the last 2 records which were the additional records which were present in the employee table, which was not part of the inner join. Now I already told you the left join formula. The formula is that left join will internally first do the inner join. So it will try to fetch all the matching records between the left and the right table, and then it will again go back to the left table and see are there any additional records which were left out. Okay, so when I say left and the right table, it all depends on whether your table is placed on the right hand side of the left join keyword, or is it placed on the right hand side of the left join keyword. In this case, my employee table is on the left side, so it's termed as the left table, and department is on the right side, so it is termed as the right table. Okay, so when I do a left join, SQL will make sure that every single record from the left table is populated. Okay, so this is what a left join does. So now you can see that inner join returned 4 records and left join returned these 6 records. Okay, now similarly if I come to right join, now right join is exact opposite of left join. So the only difference is that the right join will treat the right table as the main table. Okay, so basically internally it will first try to do an inner join, so all the matching records are fetched, and then it will go to the right table and see are there any additional records that were left out during the inner join, and if there are, then it will fetch those records, and that is exactly what you see here. Okay, so if I run this query now, you can see that I'm still getting 6 records, and the first 4 records are basically what was returned from my inner join, and the last 2 records are basically the ones that were added due to this right join. Okay, so when I did right join, the right table is department, and the department table we're having 2 departments, finance and admin, and there are no employees belonging to these departments. Hence the inner join did not fetch this finance and admin record. But when I'm doing a right join, since department is treated as the main table, and since the right join formula is such that it will first fetch all the inner join records and then it will go to the right table and fetch any additional records in the right table, that is why now we are able to get all the data related to the right table, that is the department table. You can see that I have IT, HR, finance and admin, and if I go back to my department table, you can see that IT, HR, finance and admin. So all the department information will show up in the right join because department is my right table. Okay, so this is basically what a inner join, left join and a right join does. Okay, now with this understanding, if you had to guess what a full join would do, I think you can pretty well guess that, right? So basically full join would first internally do an inner join, that is it would fetch every matching record between the two tables, that is the table on the left hand side and the table on the right hand side. Once it gets all the matching records, it will then try to do a left join, that is it will try to go to the left table and see are there any additional records that were not part of the inner join. If there are any additional records, it will try to fetch that, and after that it will again go to the right table and it will see are there any additional records in the right table, and if there are, it will fetch those records as well. Okay, so in other words, it's going to basically do an inner join, left join and right join together, and it's going to return the result of all those three. So let's try to see this. I'm going to write almost the same query here. So I'm just going to say select star from employee, I'll give it the alias as E, and I'll say full join, and I'm going to use the department table, I'll give alias as D, I'll join it using D dot department ID equal to E dot department ID, and then here I'm going to fetch the columns like E dot employee name comma D dot department name. Okay, and now if I just run this, you can see the query is all exactly the same. Only thing is, instead of putting left or right join or inner join, I have just replaced it with full join. Okay, so now if I run this, you can see that the output is completely different. Now let me just go through this output. You can see that the very first 4 records are basically the records that were returned from our inner join that we tried to do at the beginning here, and so this is basically all the records that were matched in the employee and the department table based on the join condition. Okay, and then you have these 2 records. Now when you look at these 2 records, you can see that the department name has some values populated, but the employee name is null, meaning that this is where a right join was done. Okay, because the right table in this case is a department table, and since the right table were having 2 additional records, the values of those 2 additional records were populated here. But for these 2 departments, finance and admin, there are no employees belonging to this department, so the employee table would not have a matching record. Hence any column that is fetched from that left table would be returned as null, and that is why these 2 are returned as null, whereas the department names are populated with the values that were present in the department table. Right, so this is basically what a right join does. Now the last 2 records here is basically what a left join did. Okay, so what happened was, you can see that employee table was treated as the left table, and you could see that we had 2 employees who were left out from the inner join, that were Robin and Ali. So these 2 employees are now populated, and then for those 2 employees, they belong to a department D10 which is not present in the department table. Hence if I try to fetch values from the department table trying to match it with the department corresponding to the Robin and Ali, that is D10, there would be no records in department. Hence these 2 columns will be populated as blank or null. Okay, so just to summarize, you could see that the first 4 records are the result of an inner join, the next 2 records are the result of a right join, and the last 2 records are the result of a left join. Okay, so this is exactly what I meant by this formula. It's a combination of inner join, left join and right join. Okay, similarly, instead of mentioning full join, if I just mention full outer join and if I execute this query, you can see that there is exactly the same output. There is no difference at all. So whether you use full outer join or you use full join, they both basically mean the same. So the outer keyword is just an optional keyword. Okay, so this is basically what a full outer join does. Okay, so I hope this was clear. Now just to summarize the different names that these joins can have. So for example, a left join can also be termed as left outer join. So in your SQL query, whether you use left join or left outer join, they both are the same, and the same thing goes for right join as well. So whether you use right join or right outer join, they both mean the same. So right join and right outer join are the same, and the same thing that I mentioned for full join as well. Okay, because this was a question that was asked by one of my subscribers in the comments of my last video, so I just wanted to clarify that. So it's not like you have a separate left outer join and a separate left join. They both are the same. They're just two different names. The outer keyword is just optional, and the same thing goes with inner join as well. So inner join can also be termed as just join. So whether you mention join or inner join, they both basically mean the same. Okay, so I hope all of this is clear. Now let's move on to the next join. Okay, so the second type of join that we'll be covering in this video is going to be cross join. So cross join is also referred to as Cartesian join. Now cross join returns a Cartesian product, meaning that every record from the left hand table will match with every record from the left side table. Okay, so let me try to explain that. So let's try to write a query. Now I'm going to write almost the same query. I'm going to use the same table, employee E, and I'm going to use cross join this time. I'm going to say department D. And one thing that you need to remember when you're using a cross join is a cross join does not need a join condition. So I don't need to specify the on clause here. That is one thing that you need to remember. Okay, you just mention the two tables and just put the keyword, the cross join in between, and that's all. You don't need to specify the join condition, because the database is actually not going to join these two tables. What it will do is it's going to match every record from the employee table with every record from the department table. So the join condition is basically not required at all for a cross join. Okay, so let's try to print some data here. So let's say e.emp name comma d.department name. Okay, so now if I run this, okay, I think I need an underscore here, and now if I run this, okay, so now you can see that it's returning the output even without the join condition here, and you can see that the number of records that are returned are 24. Okay, and the reason for that is employee table is having 6 records, and we have seen that before, right? Employee table were having 6 employee details, and the department table is having 4 records. So basically what happened was every single employee from the employee table was matched with every single department from the department table. Okay, so it's like the number of records returned by a cross join will always be equal to the number of records on the left hand table multiplied by the number of records on the right side table. Okay, so in this case the left hand table, the table on the left side is having 6 records and the table on the right side is having 4 records. So 6 by 4 is equal to 24, and that is why it's returning 24 records. Okay, now to better understand that, so let's say I have this employee table here, and you can see I have 6 different employees. So what's happening is every single record, so first SQL is going to take the very first employee record, that is, let's say employee ID E1, and then it's going to match it with all the records available in the department table. So the E1 employee record will match with D1, D2, D3 and D4, and then again it will go back to the employee table. It will fetch the second employee, that is E2, and then again it will try to match that second employee with every single department present in the department table. Okay, so that is basically why it's called as a cross join. It's going to join every single record from the left table with every single record from the right table. Okay, now you might ask, what is the use of having this kind of joins? Okay, and the answer for that is there are several cases where you would need to use a cross join. There would be certain requirements where using a cross join would actually solve some of your problems. Okay, so let me try to give you one simple example. So let's say I'll consider another table that I have just created, and the table is going to be called as company. Okay, now in this company table you can see that I just have one record and it's just information about the company. Let's imagine that this database is about the company information and it's information just about one particular company. Okay, and here I have the columns company ID, company name and location. It's just some dummy company that I have created here. Okay, so let's say your supervisor comes to you and tells you that you need to write a query to fetch the employee name and their corresponding department name, and when doing so you also need to display the company name and the company location corresponding to each employee. Okay, so let's say you have this kind of a requirement. So how would you write a query for this? Now when I have this kind of a requirement, the first statement here just tells that I need to fetch the employee name and the corresponding department name. right? So this basically means that I just need to use the inner join, and basically I can use the query that I just mentioned above. So let's say I'm just going to use this inner join query. So if I just run this, you can see that I'm getting employees and their department. But additionally, our requirement now is that for each of this record, I also need to display the company name and the company location. So how can I do that? Now, if I go to the company table, you can see that I only have the company ID, company name and location. So there is basically no columns that I can use to join with either the employee table or the department table. Okay. Now, when you have this kind of a requirement where basically you cannot join the two tables based on certain columns, but still you need to fetch the record from the second table or something like that, then using a cross join is a good way of proceeding. Okay. So let's see how we can do that. So let's say here I'm just going to use a cross join, and I'm going to mention the table name company, and I'm going to give alias C. And okay, so since I'm using a cross join, I don't need to use the on clause, and that is the advantage of cross join here. And then I need to display the company name, so C dot company name comma C dot location. Okay, and now if I run this, you can now see that I'm still getting only 4 records, which is the correct record, but corresponding to each record, I'm now able to fetch the company name and the location. Okay, and this is one of the advantages of using cross join. Whenever you have a table which basically cannot be joined with any of your other table, but you still need to get information from that table, then using a cross join can be a useful way of doing that. But one thing that you need to remember is, now this cross join table, or basically the company table, just had one record. So as I told you in my last video, I told you that whenever you have a join condition, it's not like it's going to join between the leftmost table with the rightmost table. It's going to basically consider the leftmost result set. So when I say leftmost result set, from the from clause until this cross join, whatever is the result set. So the result set, when I say that it's the output of these two joins, okay, that output, which I'm basically calling it like a result set, will join it with the rightmost table, which in this case is company. Okay, and since the company table only has one record, so and this result set on the left side is returning me 4 records, so it will be 4 records into this one record, which will again return me just 4 records. Okay, but making sure that it fetches the columns that I need. Now this is one good example where you can use a cross join. There can be many other scenarios as well, but I hope you get the idea of what cross join is and why we can use that. Okay, so now let's talk about the next type of join, and that is going to be natural join. Okay, now natural join is sometimes misunderstood that it is exactly same as an inner join, but actually that's not the case. There are certain similarities, but there are certain major differences as well. Now let's talk about that. I'm also going to tell you why you should not be using a natural join. Okay, now what exactly is a natural join? In a natural join, SQL will decide what is the join condition. So based on which column the join should happen will be decided by the SQL and not by the user themselves. And that can actually be a major problem when using natural join. Okay, now let me try to show you with an example. So let's say I'm having the same table, select star from the employee table, alias E, and I'm going to use natural join now. So I can use the keyword natural join. I'm going to say department, and I'm going to give the alias as D. And the thing that we need to remember here is that when we are using natural join, we don't need to specify the join condition. That is similar to cross join. Okay, so we don't need to use the on clause. If I try to use the on clause in a natural join, then it's going to throw me an error. Okay, now the reason why we don't need to specify the join condition here is because SQL will decide on which column the join should happen. Okay, basically how SQL will decide on which column the join should happen is dependent on the column name. Okay, now what SQL will do is it will go to the left table and it will go to the right table, and it will check are there any columns sharing the same name. Okay, just by the column name. If there are columns sharing the same name, then just by using those columns the join will happen. Okay, so let's see the result. So let's say I'm just going to say emp name and d dot department name, and if I run this, you can see that I'm getting the output. There are 4 records that is returned, and just by looking at the output and just by knowing what we got from our inner join, this looks like this is just an inner join. So basically it's fetching all the records that were present in both the tables. So it looks like natural join is exactly same as inner join. Okay, but there are certain differences which I will talk about now. Okay, Before I talk about that, one thing you need to understand is, even without providing a join condition, how did SQL do the join? Okay, how did SQL match the records? And that is what I said. It went to the employee table. So in the employee table, it saw that there is a column like department ID. So this one. And then in the department table, it went to the department table and it saw that there is a column department ID. So these two columns are sharing the same name. So just by that column, it did the joining. Okay, and that is why, since department ID is the correct table to join for these two tables, it's providing basically the result of an inner join. Okay, this is correct in this case, but there can be some tables where the column names might be same between the two tables, but the values that they are storing may be completely different, and in that case natural join would go horribly wrong. Okay, so for example, let's try to illustrate that. So let's say I'm going to alter the department table. So I'm just going to say alter table department, and I'm going to say rename column, let's say department ID to, I'll just make it like ID. Okay, and I'll run this. So I just modified the structure of the department table, and you can see that now in the department table, the first column here is just called as ID and not department ID. And now if I run the exact same query without making any modification, you can see that the output is completely different. Now you can see it's fetching 24 records rather than the 4 records. Okay, so what exactly happened here was SQL was trying to do the natural join based on the column names. Now in these two tables, since I changed the department ID from the department table to just the ID column, now what happened is, in the department table there is no department ID column, and basically there is no column between these two tables which share the same name. Okay, and since there are no columns which are sharing the same name, natural join will just do a cross join. Basically it will just return a Cartesian product. That is, it will try to match every record from the employee table with every record from the department table, and it will return the output. Okay, so what this means is, in SQL a natural join will try to do an inner join if there are columns that are sharing the same name between the two tables. But let's say if there are no columns sharing the same name between the two tables, then it will try to do a cross join. Okay, and let's say if your table is having more than one column sharing the same name, then the join will happen on all of those columns which are sharing the same name. Okay, so that is a major difference between the natural join and the inner join. Okay, and the reason that I highly recommend that you never try to use natural join is because you are trying to give the control to SQL to choose the column based on which the join should happen, and that is actually not a good thing. As a user, as a developer, we should know on which column we want to do the join, right? We would not want SQL to do the join based on some column names, because column names can be same across different tables, but the values may be different, and in future someone else might change the column name to something else, and then your query, if it's already being used in production, might end up fetching wrong result. Okay, so that is why using natural join is highly not recommended. Okay, so now let's talk about the last type of joins that I'll be covering in this video, and that is going to be one of the most important joins that you should definitely be aware about, and that is called as a self join. In my opinion, inner join, left join, right join, and self join are 4 of the most widely used joins when we are writing SQL or we are basically working with SQL. So what exactly is a self join? Now self join, as the name suggests, is when you join a table to itself. Okay, so let's try to understand this with an example. But in order to explain the self join, I'll be using a separate table. Okay, so let's say I have already created a table by the name family. So select star from family. And you can see that this table has information about family members. So I have a column member ID. Basically, it's the unique ID for each family member. Then I have the name. What is the name of each family member? Okay. And then I have the age. What is the age of these family members? And then finally, I have a column parent ID, which basically indicates who are the parents of these family members. Okay, now just by looking at this table, you can see that if I wanted to identify each family member and their parent, now the only way that I can do that is I need to find out what is a member. So let's say David, I have this person here, David, he has the ID F1 and his parent is F5, right? This ID. And then if I try to search for F5 in this member ID column, and that is this one, you can see Mariam. Okay, so it looks like Mariam is the parent of David. Okay, and this way I will need to do across all of these records in the table to identify who is the parent of a particular family member. Okay, now the only challenge here is that I do not have a separate two tables. So it's not like I have a table for child and I have a table for parent, and then I join between the child and a parent table to identify the child and parent relationship. relationship. It's not like that. Here everything is stored in the single table, and whenever you have this kind of a requirement where you need to match one record from your table with some other record of that same table to find your result, then this is where you will need to use a self join. So let's say your supervisor comes to you and gives you a requirement where he asks you to write a query to fetch the child name and their parent name, okay, along with their ages, something like that. Okay, so you have this requirement, so you need to find the child and their parent, but the problem is all of this information is stored in the same table. So I'm going to write this query. So I'm going to say select from, okay, and I know that my table is definitely going to be this only table, that is family. But since I will need to join this table to itself, and why do I need to join this table to itself? Because I know that F1 is David, okay, but in order to, and I know that his parent is F5, but I need to match this record with the F5 record. So basically I try to match my first record with the fifth record, so I can find that David's parent is Mariam. Okay, so whenever I have this kind of a requirement, that is one record from that same table, match it with some other record from that same table, this is where I need to use self join. And whenever I'm using self join, it means that I'm going to be using the same table twice, right? The important thing that you need to remember is you need to give proper alias in this case. Okay, so I'm just going to say family, as I'm going to term this as, let's say, child table. Okay, so this initially I'm going to term this like child, and then I'm going to do a join. Now one thing to remember is for a self join there is no keyword like a self join. Okay, we just use the regular join, that is the inner join, to do the self join. So it can be a inner join, left join, right join, anything. Okay, so whenever you're using the same table more than once and trying to join that same table to itself, that is what is called as a self join. There is no separate keyword like a self join. Okay, so again I'm going to be using the family table. I'm going to term this time this table as parent, and then I'm going to do the join. Now you need to be careful here. Okay, so in a self join, the join conditions are kind of tricky, and that is what you need to understand. So that is why this alias will be very important. So what I have done is, initially I termed this table as child, so this I will just treat it like a child table, and then I treated this family, I basically gave an alias like parent, so this became my parent table. Okay, so now I know that since this is my child table, if I just type child.parent id, so just basically child.parent id will return me the parent id. Okay, and then I know that every id is present in my member id, right? So what I can just do is I can just use my parent.member id from the parent table. Okay, so if I do this match, what will happen is, for example, for David, his parent id will be F5, and then F5 will also be part of the member id, this one. So this will get matched with this, and that is how this join condition or self join condition should work. Okay, and now here to display all the values, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say child dot, let's say, name, as I'll term it like child name, and then I'm going to say child dot age as, let's say, child age, and then I'm going to say parent dot name as parent name, and then finally I'm going to say parent dot age as parent age. Okay, so I think that's all. Now let me just try to execute this query and let's see if it works. Okay, so you can see that the query has worked, and you can see we are getting 6 records. Now just let's try to understand this data. Okay, so the first 3 records here, you can see that I have the parent as Mariam, and I have these 3 children here, David, Carol and Michael. Now these 3 children are having the age like 4, 10 and 12 years old, and their parent is Mariam, who is 40 years old. Okay, so this is basically information about one parent and her 3 children's. Okay, and then if I go down here, or let's say I go to the last 2 records here, you can see I have these 2 children's here, Rohan and Asha. They are 6 and 8 years old, and their parent is Johnson, who is 36 years old. Okay, and similarly I have another record here where basically I have information about Mariam's parent. So I have Mariam, who is also a parent of 3 kids here, but I have her also as a child because her parent is Stewart, who is 70 years old. So I'm basically able to get the information about the children and their parent from this table. Okay, So this is basically how self join can be very useful. Sometimes you might be given a query which might look almost impossible to do, but using self join it kind of makes it very easy to do. Okay. Now one last thing that I want to say is when you're using a self join, it's not mandatory that you can use self join only with inner joins or like this regular join that I have used. You can also use any other type of join like left join, right join, etc. Okay. So let's say if I do a left join here, it will still work, but what it will return is it will try to return me all the children's even if they do not have parents. Okay, so even if there are any children in this table who do not have any parents, even their information will be returned. So let's try to run this. Only thing I changed this, I just made this left join. Okay, so if I run this now, you can see that I'm getting two additional records here, and the two additional records I think belongs to this Johnson and Stewart. And the reason why is because you can see that I'm getting the children name and their age, but there is no parent information. The parent name and the parent age is null. What this means is these are the two children, that is, or basically the two members whose parent information is not available in the database or on this table. Okay, so this is basically what a self join is. Whether you use a left join or an inner join or a right join or other joins, you basically can still treat them as a self join. So basically what this means is whenever you try to join a table to itself, this is when it is treated as a self join. I hope all of this was clear. If you have any questions about joins, then do leave a comment below. I'll try to answer them as much as possible. Thank you and see you soon in the next one. Bye.